Good afternoon. My name's Michael Darwood. It is 19th of August 2020 and it's around about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I just want to carry on with my story of Middlemarch, the journey through and to Middlemarch. A little bit more about myself. I moved to March, Cambridgeshire, with my family in July 1999. I had friends living there, counts and earls, plus my friend Malcolm, the Roman, and his family, and other families as well that we knew in the locality. And we had some lovely times with them before and obviously after we moved there. Before this time, I was into finance and did many jobs within them roles, financial advisor, mortgage advisor, and that's what I initially moved there for. But myself, I never found that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow for myself. I managed to navigate my way around March quite quickly over the weeks when moving there, because I'd visited many times before this occasion of moving there. Over the years, you find out more and more about the area and the drainage of the lands, creating fenland. March became an isle, or was an isle, sorry, I should say, like the Isle of Ely, and a place of pilgrimage to many people, Christians alike, many years ago, gone by, in medieval times and before. In the Magna Carta, it is put down as Middlemarch, and on many maps throughout medieval times and before, it was called Middlemarch. The Dutch came to help drain the land with their skills and expertise, obviously making money out of it in the process. Land was given to people who did this via creating a ring around a plot called a ring's end. Again, I've gone off a story about Middlemarch. I will from now on call March Middlemarch to make it easier, so that we understand what we're talking about, and obviously that is March in Cambridgeshire. There are a few properties in March that are very Art Deco in design. Many people can visit the establishment, the Hippodrome, that is a Wetherspoon's pub at this moment in time, that is done in a very lovely Art Deco style. And there is a property, a house, just off the high street, around the back there, again, that has magnificent chimneys going up into the sky, maybe 10-15 foot high, all done in Art Deco style, in beautiful white colour, with a rampant round the outside, and a unique style, going a little bit to ruin now, but it does give you a glimpse of a Art Deco 1930s style that was about then, and the creative style that really isn't there in any other form in Middlemarch, sorry. This is possibly due to some people getting a tiny glimpse of Middlemarch, perhaps. I digress. Now, how I stumbled across Middlemarch is due to a story I heard from a local man about there being a canal running adjacent to the high street at one time, going down to the old Nene, that used to transport produce to and fro the that area. And obviously at the time, it is well known that March is a agricultural area, and so the produce and other materials, possibly cotton, there was a mill nearby, that would be actually taken down this canal that was running adjacent all the way up the high street. Now it's been covered over, this canal, so it's a culvert covered by properties, roads and other areas, and it's it's there. I know it is, because obviously I've seen it, but it is a unique sight to behold. This culvert, huge. You can run a boat down there. It is obviously used for drainage, and yes, a canal. I made it my mission at this time, as soon as I heard this story, to find this canal, culvert, this waterway that time had forgot. One day in the middle of October, autumn colours all around, I walked down a small alley off the high street, done it several times, many times before, and if you blinked you would miss it. It's as narrow as a man, and it fans outwards towards the West End Park, and at the end of it is the Acre pub. So you can imagine why I visit and went down there quite frequently at this time. And while walking down there, I spotted a cellar door that I'd never spotted before. Again, in an Art Deco property to the right that was done in an Art Deco style years later, I would assume, I'm not sure, but in a white style. And there were some cellar doors left open. There was a huge intense light coming from these cellar doors, reflecting and refracting on the far wall of the alley. Only 6 foot, 8 foot, but intense. The colours and the pure light was absolutely amazing, breathtaking in fact, especially as you can imagine the darkness and the obliqueness and of winter drawing in the month of October, in the autumn months, with mainly you'll see in the browns and the creams and the different colours of autumn at that time of year. To see this intense light was absolutely amazing. And I could not understand why there was a cellar door there, because the pub was in front of me. There is a pub on the high street to the left, but the door was just open with this intense light coming out of it. I looked back up the alleyway, and like I said, just to familiarise myself with where I was, because this light was so intense. So I walked towards it. By now I'd gone through the narrow part of the alleyway, maybe 20-30 foot down, and I spotted this cellar door. So I walked down to it, and it was very strange, the light. And I'd been living in March by now 4 years. I was 38 years old, been there for 4 years. My children were growing up. My son was at school at that time. My 2 girls were in the process just about of going to school at that time, and I'd never ever encountered these cellar doors. What was so strange? So what I did, I was very curious, so I ducked down and went into this, all I can say, intense light via the cellar door. And that is where I will end my story until next time, when I talk about Middlemarch.